There was a movie that came out, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins. These two guys got lost in the woods. They had a plane crash and they got lost in the woods. And one of the quotes from the movie was Anthony Hopkins turns around and asks Alec Baldwin, he says, "Do you know why most people die in the woods?" And Alec Baldwin says, "No, Charles, why do most people die in the woods?" And the character Charles says, "They die of shame." My name is Brian McIntosh. This is the Daily Dose. And I believe that there's so much truth in that. If you think about it, people that get lost in the woods spend so much time beating themselves up about the stupid mistake they made and they shouldn't have gotten there in the first place, and they begin to despair, and that is essentially what kills them. They lose the will to live. They stop fighting. They stop looking for the way out. They die, essentially, of shame. So if they're wandering lost in the woods, how does that apply to us in our daily lives? Listen, if you don't have goals, if you don't have specific, delineated goals that you're going after, then you're wandering lost through this life, much like you would be wandering lost through the woods, with no direction, not sure where you are, not sure where you're going, or even how to get there if you had an idea. And so then what happens is once we realize in life that we're lost, the tendency is now to begin to think about the stupid mistakes that we've made and how we shouldn't have gotten ourselves here in the first place and how did we wind up here. And before you know, despair sets in. And just like dying slowly in the woods, we die in this life essentially of shame. We just kind of lose the will to live. Now that's all really well and depressing. And I don't mean it to be. But it's how critically important that I believe having goals and dreams and ambitions are. When you start just kind of going through the motions and stumbling and bumbling and fumbling your way through every day, you're kind of lost in the woods. And it won't be long before you give up hope. However, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, an ambition, if you have a direction that you're following, then now all of a sudden you're not lost any longer. You know where to go. Even if you don't know how to get there, you know where to go. And your brain and your subconscious and the universe will conspire together to help show you the way. And you may make a wrong turn here or there, but you're not lost because you know where you are and you know where you're going. The key to not dying of shame in the woods of this life is to have goals and dreams and ambitions. As Zig Ziglar used to say, don't be a wandering generality. Know where you're going. And that's the dose. Go make it a great week.